Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Lady Decade and I have just got back from watching the Super Mario Bros movie and I thought I'd quickly make a quick video about it, but you're going to have to bear with me. My throat is absolutely killing me, so if I stutter a bit, please forgive me. So this type of video is rather different from what I usually put on my channel. So if you're into ROM hacks, if you're into lost content, lost consoles, anything like that, then hit the subscribe button right now, otherwise I will send you some kind of strange curse that you'll have to live with for the rest of your life and you'll totally regret not subscribing right now. So basically we decided last minute this morning to see whether our local cinema was showing basically showing the film, and checked and there was a few spaces left, so we booked into the 12 noon showing of the film. And on the way, I had a quick look in the car as to what the critics' review scores were. Didn't look too deeply into it, but we're a bit worried because they were really low. They were like 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, and so on and so forth. But we didn't actually read what the reviews were. But I was a little bit apprehensive walking and thinking, oh God, this is going to be rubbish. And I was going to be really deeply disappointed. But actually, no, quite the opposite. Really, really enjoyed it. All of the voice casts are brilliant. The film is visually striking. It's beautiful. It looks exactly precisely how I wanted it to look. The story was exactly precisely what I would have wanted out of it. It was, in my opinion, bearing in mind we've got 2 small children and we watch a lot of Disney Pixar films in this house. It was everything that I wanted, and I could easily hold it up there with, I suppose it's very, very different, but I'm just happy to watch it as much as like Moana and Frozen and Encanto and all of those other films that my boys like. So something that I think is very important is the fact that not only did I, as a fan of Mario, really, really enjoy this film, but my 2 little boys did. Now, they're 2 and 4 years old, and not only did the film hold their attention, especially my 2-year-old, I was not expecting a 2-year-old to behave as well as he did in that cinema. It had him hooked from start to finish, sat there munching popcorn, and both of them giggled. Really cute. Giggled all the way through that film. So it was nice from a parent's perspective that not only was I laughing at some of the hilarious jokes that were laced all through this film, but so are my children, and we was laughing at different things. And I think that's so important when you're creating a film that is designed for children, that you do cater it for an adult audience. And with something as like Super Mario, which is so intrinsically a part of a lot of adults' lives, it was the perfect balance. I really enjoyed it from that perspective. Something else that I think that I enjoyed and my husband enjoyed that my children wouldn't have picked up from is there was an enormous amount of Easter eggs throughout the whole film. They were fantastic. Like, honestly, one of the reviews that I read was like, oh, it's too much fan service, or it's too much this, too much that, there wasn't a deep enough story, blah blah blah. No, it was, honestly, it was perfect. It was just what I wanted in respect to the story of Mario in the beginning with Luigi in Brooklyn, and then moving into how he ends up going to the Mushroom Kingdom, and then what happens when he gets there, and then how the story progresses. It was very much how I would have expected it, and I think that was important. I mean, when the credits rolled, you saw that there was loads of names from Nintendo in that credit list as well. Within the first few minutes of this film, like talking about Easter eggs, what a treat. We had Wrecking Crew, Punch Out, Game & Watch, you see that laced about everywhere, and most hilariously of all, which made me properly laugh, was it had the Hooked on the Brothers song. Just honestly, and it was so perfectly placed. Like, you couldn't have used that any more perfectly than how it's situated in this film. Fantastic. And it just doesn't stop all the way through, and it gives like little hints of other things as well. Like, I definitely think from seeing certain little things that happened throughout this film that they've definitely now got to do. They've got room to make follow-ups to this film, definitely, for sure. So I mentioned earlier that the review scores have been really poor going in, and I was really confused because I walked out and I was like, oh my god, like that film was perfect. And both my boys had come out and said, yeah, good movie. So it was baffling my mind. So we decided on the way back home to actually read some of these reviews, and by this point we hadn't gotten to Rotten Tomatoes, so we're reading them and they're like, oh, it's too much fan service, oh, there's not enough innovation on the story, they could have done this, they could have done that, there was no subverting people's expectations, blah 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 blah. And I thought, oh my god, this is literally a Super Mario Brothers movie. It is what it says on the box. You don't want to start subverting people's expectations. You, like, honestly, like, these critics who have made these judgments on the film, like, this wasn't supposed to be some kind of like Oscar worthy flipping performance. This wasn't supposed to be some like delicate art piece for the Cannes Film Festival, or like something that was designed to really make you think. No, this was like basic bitch film that you're going in to watch with your kids and be pleased by it and come out thinking, yeah, I loved that. I think the most important thing out of it was, going back to Rotten Tomatoes, was that currently, as of this film, as of me filming this video, it's at 98% for the general public's opinion. And yeah, I absolutely agree with that 98%. I'm sure there's probably something, like, if I was a film critic, I could probably find a few things to complain about, but no, me, Joe Public, went in with my kids. It was exactly what I wanted. Can't complain. It's like the opposite of The Last Jedi. Like, the reviews, like, that was like really critically acclaimed by these critics. They loved it, like 10 out of 10, thought it was brilliant. And then you've got like, what was it, like 25%, 30% score from the general public. Like, it's completely the opposite. Like, the critics on this one, seriously, they've got it wrong. Like, horrendously wrong. So I think that one of the complaints about the critics saying that it didn't subvert anyone's expectations, well, that's such an utter load of bollocks, because when you've got things where, like I was saying with The Last Jedi, where it completely, again, focused on surprising people and producing a story that no one expected, and then the critics loved it. What you had was, they had these really high scores for The Last Jedi, and then the general public was like, no, don't like that film. And then what happened after that? No one went to see the follow-up film. No one went to see Han Solo, and now Disney can't really do much with Star Wars anymore. So I think Nintendo and I can't remember who the film house is that they made this with, but this was perfect to the point that when they make a follow-up film, I'm telling you now, I'll be straight into that cinema to go see it, because they didn't undermine people. They didn't treat their audience like idiots. They delivered what they knew their audience wanted. And the moment the credits rolled and I saw Shigeru Miyamoto as being a producer, I was like, do you know what? That's your stamp of quality there. So here's the thing about critics wanting to have audiences' expectations to be subverted. Now, bringing this back to Super Mario, what you end up with is things like the original Super Mario Brothers movie subverting expectations. Like, obviously, some consider it a cult classic these days, but let's be honest, it's generally going to be sort of like hipsters and weirdos and like artsy-fartsy people who go back and like, oh yes, the original Super Mario Brothers movie was really wonderful in its own kind of kooky way. No, it just wasn't what it was supposed to be. So by delivering a cheerful, hilarious, good, fun movie that made my children laugh, that made me laugh, that made the whole audience in that viewing laugh. It was bright, it was colourful, it had beautiful music, it was perfect for what I wanted. I would, like, from my point of view, Big recommend. So if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe, like, comment your opinions below, and tell me if and when you are going to go and watch that film. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.